How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Voodoo15 here, again, finally, doing another tutorial for you. This one over dive bombing, as you can see, right chaw. And so, I'm in the training arena right now, and I'm in the upper right-hand corner of the map. You start here at A1, and if you just zoom out using your delete key, you'll notice this up here, and you just zoom in here and pick any one of these bases. You'll notice these little blue squares up here. How one in this little corner here is darkened out, and it matches with this little guy right here, northeast. These are air spawns, and they allow you to spawn in at, well, this one will allow you to spawn at 10,000 feet. This one will allow you to spawn at 20,000 feet, and this one will probably spawn you in at the deck. So we're gonna spawn at 10,000 feet. That's more than high enough to dive bomb any target. We'll probably attack an airfield or something like that. Some of you probably been worried. You're like, oh my god, Voodoo, stop playing Aces High. What are we gonna do? I have not stopped playing Aces High. I've cut back on it quite a bit. I've been playing World of Tanks and DayZ and Battlefield 3 and playing a lot of other stuff, and I've been taking a break from playing Aces High, which I do every once in a while. And I'm going to continue to probably take a break. You won't see me as much in the mains, but I'll probably come in every once in a while, run a few missions, and make a Let's Play. And I'm considering making a new one, which is called a Let's Fight. And in those, because there was another guy, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do it yet or not. There was another guy who kept asking me about if I was going to do running commentary. And so I haven't decided if I really want to do that. I like the Let's Play, and I haven't had any negative to that, except from this one guy, but I think this guy's kind of retarded. And so I think that I'm not going to worry about it. But I may end up doing it anyway. It's something I've kind of wanted to do to where you can see exactly what I'm thinking and what I'm doing when I'm thinking about it, but it's hard to relate it as you're attempting to do it. So what I'm going to do here today, though, is I'm going to show you how to do some dive bombing. And so I'm going to pick an airframe that can withstand a dive. It's not going to compress or anything like that, and something that anyone can jump in and do fairly well with. And I'm going to choose a P-47. And I'm going to take the D-25. I like the 25. It seems to maneuver better. The only kicker between it and the D-40 is that it totes these M8 rockets. These M8 rockets are carried in long metallic tubes, so they cause drag. Not so much that you notice it, but it may be something that it'll affect. But the D-25 seems to handle a lot better than the D-40. I flew it in a scenario, and I liked it a lot. And I don't mind the extra drag. So I'm going to take 6 rockets, one 500-pound center point here, and 2 1,000-pound bombs. Now I don't need any fuel because I'm going to spawn in right at the deal. So I'm going to spawn in, and I'm going to show you kind of how I do it. Alright, we're at 10,000 feet. We've got ag popping here. And my stick is out of calibration. So first thing I'm going to do is calibrate my stick, which I should have done before I got out here, but I didn't. Tell that my autopilot's off too, because my artificial horizon is kind of going nose low. So we got that. Alright, stick is calibrated. Alright, let's find us a target. Alright, there's something large, and something you probably want to start with is something that you don't have to be very accurate with. Now, it's personal preference if you fire rockets first or if you drop bombs first. It depends on what I'm after if I fire rockets or bombs first. Now, the main thing is you want to pick your target. Now, this one's in the open, so I really don't have to worry about my lineup or anything. If I was shooting for trying to knock out guns and stuff like that, then I would probably line up how I was going to do it. The airfields is a little different. I'll show you how to do that too. This is just a troop factory, a radar factory. It looks like a troop factory, I believe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here in about a 90-degree angle, and I'm going to keep watching it so that I can see it. And I'm going to change to rockets first. Now, if you'll notice, a little indicator pops up, but you really do this all by feel. In the main arenas, you don't have a little indicator. But I know that at this kind of angle that I should be able to hit. Now I'm going to go to 1,000, 2,000. and somehow I did absolutely no damage, which is bizarre because that should have blown up all that stuff there. But I know for a fact that was a good drop, so something's up with this thing right now. Wow, somebody's like... Anyway, so I came through here, and essentially dive bombing is all by feel. You predict where you're going to hit, you know about where you're going to hit, and so you aim. Like, I know I'm going pretty fast, so about right here, probably in that black. That's pretty interesting, because normally all this stuff gets blown up pretty easily. Let's head over to one of these airfields and see what happens. With airfields, if you're going to deac or something like that, rockets are your best bet, because you only have to get real close. And you can hit near a gun and usually blow it up with the high explosive thing. But dive bombing is all done by feel. The only thing I can tell you is that you get out and you learn one airframe dive bombing, and then you can kind of adjust from there. Now, you're not always going to hit your target. I don't always hit my targets. For the most part, I do, but there are times where I don't. So it's something you have to think about whenever you're coming in. On airfields and stuff, if you're going to try and deac or you're wanting to hit, like, ordnance is always a big target for guys to hit, because you don't want, especially if you got like a carrier coming in or something like that, you don't want them to take out your carrier with their bombs and rockets and all that business. So you come in early to a base and you take out ordnance and radar so no one can see you coming, and so that they don't blow up your stuff. When you come into an airfield, the first thing you're wanting to look for is guns shooting at you from a long ways. Like right now, you don't see any guns firing. There's ACK popping, but that's not from here. You don't want any guns shooting at you. If you see gold tracers coming from down there at this range, you know that there's somebody. That one's normal, that's an auto ACK. But for the most part, well, I don't know, that's pretty interesting. It's just that one gun shooting. See, now you're starting to see a lot of guns. Now you want to take some evasive maneuvers. As long as you stay moving, the auto guns will have trouble hitting you. Now there's a lot of them, so you're going to want to stay moving. But as you come in, you're going to want to line up, especially with one of these large airfields like this. There's a number of ore bunkers. I can't point them out to you right now because I just can't see the darn thing. But say you want to take out radar. Radar's right there off my left wing. Right there at the tip. And you want to hit it. Well, you're going to want to expose yourself to as little fire as possible. So I'm not going to attack it right now because my exfil will be across the darn airfield. So I'm going to pick a steep angle. Now I'm between the town and the base. So I want to be careful and stay moving a little bit. Now, ACK lethality in here is like 0.1. So it's not really going to kill you. But you still want to try and dodge it because it's good practice. So I'm going to dump throttle. I'm going to roll over inverted so that I can see my target. Now I'm going to increase throttle slightly. And then decrease throttle slightly. Just enough that my torque is not going out. Now that would have taken out radar. Now on your way out, you're going to want to do some maneuvering. Rudder. You're going to want to turn a little bit. You're going to want to dip. You're going to want to dive. You're going to do a little bit. You're going to want to check your six, make sure there ain't anyone diving on you. Because a lot of times, good guys will wait over an airfield until an attacker dives on the target, and then they'll dive. So on your way out, when you're just trying to dodge ACK and you're real slow and stuff, they come in and bust you. So that's something to watch out for. Now, for whatever reason, I can't destroy these targets here. I don't know what's going on. Normally you can, but for whatever reason, I can't right now. So, not a very good example. But you want to pick your avenue of escape. You don't want to come diving in and then climb up over a hill, because then you're going to be slow climbing up a hill. You're going to have guys shooting at you, and it's just not fun. Another thing you can choose to do, and something that's interesting, is if you're not going to have enough altitude and you're only like firing, don't fire rockets or drop bombs while you're down really low, because you're going to end up blowing yourself up, unless you're not worried about dying. If that's, you're trying to do that, that's cool. If you have a lot of, say this is a vehicle base, I'm going to come in, you got a lot of vehicles fucking, shooting at you and stuff. Come in and use these trees as a lot of cover, and most of the time they'll spot you anyway, because there's going to be tanks on the way in. Use your trees and stuff for a lot of cover, and pick your target, and come in really, really low, like say this darn water tower here. You line up on him. and you're going to break off and you're going to dodge the fire going out. You're going to want to stay moving because these whirlwind guys are going to be pretty hot and heavy on you. And I got a lot of left rudder right now, and then I'm kicking right and left, and you're going to want to stay moving. And then you want to get your nose down where you put some terrain between you and them and not run into any trees. You don't want to do that. And these trees will block bullets and stuff, so if you can put these trees between you and them, they'll block rounds and stuff. And then once you're out about 1,500, 2K, then you can go ahead and climb on out. And maintain a little bit of difference because you may have someone on an 88 or something that can fire it. And it's just always best to maintain a little movement on the way out from your target. I'm going to show you another aircraft here. And it's something you have to watch out for if you're going to fly 109s or any other aircraft. But the P-38 is a very dangerous aircraft to dive bomb in. When I flew one, or when I led a group of them, I lost half my flight every time to compression. And compression is very, very dangerous, especially if you have any amount of altitude. So we're up here at 20,000 feet now. Now, at about 460 miles an hour indicated, the P-38 will compress. So a thing I like to do is say I'm going to attack this town. I got a lot of airspeed, so I'm going to pull back. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chop my throttle. I have counter rotating props, so I don't have any torque to worry about, so it's not going to throw my shot off. Now, I'm at 400 miles an hour, and I'm going to start to get to buff it here in just a moment, and then I'm going to get a compression. Any moment now. I'm at 460 true. I think it needs to be 460 indicated. But I think I still have enough angle. Main thing is if you start to come in and you're really, really too fast, you're going to dive straight into a target. A lot of times you see people just lawn dart. I think the other thing was I didn't have any throttle on. So what you're going to do is say you want to attack a specific part on this town. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to pick your tilt. Well, you don't want to dive out over that damn airfield. So you're going to come over the town and you're going to roll over on your back and pull inverted away from the field. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change to my bombs. And I'm going to look, take a peek. I'm like, alright, I'm in a good spot. Now I'm going to drop throttle, full right rudder, and I'm going to pitch up and kick over. And now I'm going to pick a target. I'm diving almost straight down, so I can just a little bit of lob, one bomb, two bomb. And I'm going to go ahead and pull out. An act just started to shoot at me. Make a little bit of maneuver. That blew up down there and again didn't do any damage, but it would have took out most of those buildings there, especially from that altitude. If you ever suddenly start to need to dump a lot of airspeed with this aircraft because it likes to compress, the thing you want to do is kind of a corkscrew type pattern. Fire off these rockets first. And you want to do a lot of rudder, and not so much that you stall the aircraft out, but you want to push it in and a lot of opposite rudder. Now right now I have rudder into the turn, but still it's slowing me down, so it's not a big a deal. You have to remember that the P-38 is a big airframe, so it will compress, but at the same time it's really big, so there's a lot of things that you can do to slow it down, to include dumping throttle. You can rudder back and forth. Now it has small rudder surfaces as compared with other stuff, but it'll do it, especially if you go full right rudder and you make a left hand corkscrew down. You'll lose a lot of speed, or you won't build speed as quickly. So that's something you have to think about whenever you're diving. It's something you have to watch for. Ooh, a train. And so it's something you have to be really, really careful about whenever you start to do an attack on anything. Yeah, for some reason you can't destroy any of this stuff. I mean, that takes a little bit more fire, but for the most part, you can destroy everything out there. But for some reason, you can't right now. I don't know what's going on there. you see that? That was awesome. Of course, I was going really, really slow too, so I got lit up. Those are 40 millimeters on that train, so you have to be really careful if you're going to start to do that. Anyway, so anytime you do ground attack, you have to be very, very careful. Make sure you don't run into the ground, because if you run into the ground, then you're useless, and you got to fly back. And you're no good to anybody after that. So I hope it's been helpful to you. And if you have any questions or anything I maybe got confused on, either correct me or let me know. For the most part, dive bombing is by feel. You get used to an aircraft, go out and do it a lot of times. I would come in here and do it, and hopefully they'll fix it. I don't know what the hell's going on here where you can't destroy targets and stuff. That's kind of annoying. But for the most part, when you start to dive, if you're in a pretty good dive, usually you want to cover them up with your gun sight. Cover them up with your gun sight or at the bottom of your gun sight, you're going to want to take into account that it's not going to hit right where your gun sight is at. It's going to hit below it somewhere, unless you're diving straight down. But most of the time, you're not going to be driving straight down. It's going to be a near 90 or a 45-degree angle, 50, something like that. You're not going to be pointing straight downward. So, for the most part, you're going to be at a lesser angle. So it's going to be there in your gun sight, probably on this 38 right about where that little slip indicator is, that little ball. Anyhow, though, that's the basics of it. Dive bombing is an art. It's kind of a feel sort of thing. I would take one airframe for it all the time, no matter what anyone else said. To get one airframe. Use it a lot. Attack targets. Be like, I think I'm going to go over here and attack radar. Pick a big target that you can see. Use your maps, and find you a big visible target, like a big bomber hangar or something, and aim for that rascal. And then, if you can, come back over and look and see where you hit. You want, okay, see, I was doing this, and this is how it looked, and this is where I dropped, and this is where it hit. Okay, that was all screwed up. I need to try it a different way next time. And just think about that each time you're doing it. And that's about all I can tell you on dive bombing. For the most part, I can hit stuff most of the time, but it takes some time. But like anything else, practice, practice, practice. Pick one airframe that you like, that handles well, and take like if you like flying the Spitfires, take one that's got a 250-pound bomb and fly over and try to hit tanks or something with it. And you want some practice, try to hit a moving vehicle. That'll definitely get you somewhere. Other than that, I hope that this helped you out, and you may see me in the air pretty soon.